Watch out, Kiva. Hi friends, welcome to episode 60 of the Quirky Monday Craftcast. My name is Kalisha and you can find me anywhere online as Nadira Tani. Thank you so much for coming to spend some time with me today. I'm coming to you from my home in Central Florida, and today is Friday, November 2nd. So with any luck, this video will be filmed, edited, and uploaded today. That's the plan, because I really want to stay with my Friday uploads, and recently I've been having trouble with that. So today I have knitting and crocheting and a ton of books stacked to the side of me. Like, this book stack is actually really satisfying to look at. So I'll be showing you that. So let's just jump right into it. First, I was gonna say finished objects, but that's okay, we don't have any. I did want to show you a finished object that I showed last week, but I have since like washed it and steam blocked it, and it's my Bellatrix shawl. This is a pattern. This is a pattern by Hannah of the Cozy Cottage Crochet, and it is now live on Ravelry. So I will put a link to it in the down bar. But last week I showed you the finished shawl, and it was still like the fabric was very stiff. But this is what happens to acrylic yarn when you steam block it with an iron. That was like perfectly timed wind. But yeah, it's really like drapey now. Look at that. So yes, I have been using this shawl. I took it with me to work in the studio. I work in a portrait studio if you're new. But they keep it stupid cold in there. Like, I don't even understand why it's so cold in the building. Like, come on. So I've taken this with me. It's huge, and I've just been like this in between appointments at work. If you're new and this is your first time seeing this shawl, the colors that I chose are representing the candles that we light during Kwanzaa. So you have 3 red, 1 black, and 3 green. And then the brown wedges in between were just to fill out the shawl shape. You can also say that that is the color of the Kinara, which is the candlestick holder. Yeah, it actually does match my Kinara, so there's that. So yeah, I just wanted to show that to you guys real quick so you can see like what happens to acrylic yarn when you steam block it. Now, I blocked this really aggressively. Not in so much of stretching it, but in how close I got the iron to the fabric. So typically with acrylic yarn, you want to keep your iron about that, you know, about that high above the fabric and puff the steam to it. You don't want to touch the iron to the acrylic because that will definitely melt it. So I went over the shawl first with puffing the steam and then, you know, stretching it to block, but it wasn't getting as like drapey as I wanted it to be. So I took a towel, like a kitchen towel, like one of the thin ones, and put it over top of my shawl and then ironed on the towel. And I would just like iron it real fast and then stretch, and then iron the next section real fast and stretch. And that worked really well. And yeah, I'm very happy with the way that it is now finished. Okay, so works in progress. This is my new mug from Dollar Tree. It says home is where your dog is. Very true. But I'm drinking, just in case you're wondering, I'm drinking cranberry echinacea tea, which is really good. Normally, like if you have like echinacea tea, it tastes like dirt water. But the cranberry in this has like just wiped out that echinacea flavor. And then of course, since the cranberry has wiped out the echinacea flavor, what does a sane adult do? Add more echinacea. So I put some of this in my tea. This is golden echinacea, like immune support drops. So basically, since I just said that I work in a portrait studio, it's essentially like working in a school, because kids are disgusting and they're gross and they always cough in your face and stuff, and parents don't tell them not to. So I started feeling sick the other day, like tickle in the throat, achy bones, not bones, like achy muscles, like sinuses. Just, it was not a good moment in Kalisha land. But I came home, I got some of that tea, put that echinacea in it, and what else did I do that day? I think I took some more vitamins, got some chicken soup. Like, I was layering on all of the remedies, and I'm feeling a lot better now. This was maybe 2 days ago. I think 2 days ago. But I'm feeling a lot better now, but I'm still gonna be like pre-gaming this because the holidays are upon us, y'all. I know, like, no, it's November. The holidays are upon us. I went to work yesterday and Christmas music was playing already. I was sure that we were gonna at least get into Thanksgiving week before the Christmas music started. No luck, no luck. All Christmas, all day in JCPenney. I feel like I'm talking super fast. I apologize. Works in progress. So we have, this is one of my bags from the Quirky Monday shop. This one didn't get to go in the shop because I don't remember. Some reason this one didn't go in the shop. I don't remember. Something happened to it that I didn't like. But living in this bag is my first pair of rainbow socks. This is the Patton's Croy socks in the Sunburst Stripes colorway. So this is the one that I'm working on. This is actually sock 2. So here's the first one. It is a 2x2 rib sock. And this is, did I say that was the first one? It's the second one. This is the finished one. So the body is the Sunburst Stripes color, and the heel and toe are, I think it's just called natural. Where did I put it? Muslin. It's called muslin. Whoop. There you go. And I have been calling these my chicken leg socks because when they're not on a blocker, I feel like they look like they're made for like skinny chicken legs, right? So yeah, that's chicken leg sock number 1, and here's chicken leg sock number 2. So they're not far off in their stripe repeat. Yeah, about there. So that's pretty cool. That means that the heel will be roughly in the same place, meaning both heels will be in the blue section, which is cool. Yay! So yeah, they are, because Patton's Croy yarn is a thicker fingering weight, I'm doing 60 stitches on a 2.5 millimeter hook needle, where normally I do 64 on a 2.25. And yeah, it's going pretty well. Pretty well. We're gonna put all of that back into my bag. Back into the bag. Let's see, who's next? Last week I showed you my first finished reading sock with the garter stitch German short row heel, and this is all I have on the second one. Just that little bit. I haven't been working on these for real because I found that I can do the 2x2 rib while reading. So everything is a reading sock now. Yeah. So I plan to pick these back up so that I can get like a good chunk of work done on these. Yeah. Because I want to cast on all the things. But you have to cast off things so that you have needles to cast on things. That's how it works. All right, the last work in progress I have is one that I'm very excited about. It is my second harvest moon pullover. Am I even gonna get the name of my pattern right? I'm not a professional. Whatevs. So this is how far I am. It looks like the whole body's done, right? Yeah. So like last week I put up, was it last week or this week? I don't know. Last week. Yes. I put up a poll on Instagram to see what order you guys think I should do these stripes in. And I had gold, gray, and blue, and gold, blue, and gray. And the vast majority of you guys voted for this one, gold, gray, blue. So this is what I did. So I tried it on, and I don't like the gray. Aside from the fact that, like, if you go, all right, so here you can only see the gold and the gray. This looks like a pencil, and I cannot unsee the pencilness of this sweater. Like, it looks like a pencil with a blue eraser. So I'm gonna rip this back. I'm gonna rip it all the way back to the gold, and then like just omit the gray and just do gold and blue. Because okay, so roughly that's how the colors will look, and I like that a lot better. So I'm gonna rip this back, take out the gray, crochet on the blue. Another thing that I'm going to do is shorten it, because it's kind of a tunic length now. In this pattern, as I'm writing it, once you excuse me, once you separate for the sleeves, there's no shaping, so it's just straight down. And I went to about a tunic length, so it comes down like maybe halfway onto my hips. So let me stand up and show you. Okay, so here's my jeans. The sweater comes like right there, and I think I'm gonna shorten it so it comes basically to where this hoodie is. I think that's my plan. But this worked up so fast. Like, once I've separated the sleeves and I'm just crocheting around and around and around, it's double crochet US terms, and I have recently taught myself, or I am in the process of teaching myself how to crochet without looking. I can knit without looking pretty confidently, but the crocheting is a little bit shakier because you have to be a bit more precise on where you put the hook. But I'm reading the 4th book of the Harry Potter series and just practicing crocheting without looking, and it's going pretty well. Update on the crochet traveling seam situation. Okay, so this is the seam, and you can see here that the seam looks like it's going straight, right? And that's in the increase. And this is a round yoke sweater. So for the increases, I have a straight seam. And then as soon as I start going in the round, that seam travels so hard. So what am I doing with this? How am I joining? chain 3, and then double crocheting in the next stitch. So I don't double crochet in the base of the chain 3. I double crochet in the next stitch, and then I'm going around. Then when I get back to that chain 3, I'm slip stitching into the 3rd chain of that chain 3. If you're a crocheter, that made sense, I think. But that's what I'm doing consistently down the sweater. I forget who it was, but somebody recently put a comment on the video that I posted with my first Harvest Moon sweater, saying that she found a tutorial on how to make that seam straight. So maybe when I rip this back, I will try whatever the tutorial was saying, and I'll go ahead and put a link to it in this video. So if you're interested or curious on that technique, you can also check it out yourself. So yeah, this sweater is being crocheted out of Lion Brand woolies in the colors gold. We're just gonna ignore that one, but it's like silver mist or something like that, and navy heather, I think, something like that. And I am using a 5.5mm hook. Am I lying? Nope, 5.5mm hook, and this is the clover. I really like these hooks. They're really comfortable to hold. Somebody is leaf blowing their lawn right now. Come on guys, don't you know I'm filming? So inconsiderate. All right, I think that's everything for works in progress. Yes, that is everything from works in progress. Now we have maker plans. I feel like every week I get on here and I talk about like these grand maker plans that I have, and it takes me so long to follow through with them. Anyway, I feel like putting out these ideas that I have, like just throwing them out there into the world or writing them down in my show notes, kind of creates like a list of like an artsy to-do list, you know, like to craft. Or if I'm like bored with all the projects that I have going on, I can look at my maker plans and be like, okay, this is something that I wanted to do. So yeah, that's why I always put in maker plans. But this week on maker plans, we have kind of a pattern in progress. I am bringing back my Gemini shawl pattern. So the other day I sat down and I typed, let me see if I can pull it out real quick. Yes. The other day I sat down and I typed out the instructions, there you go, for the Gemini shawl pattern from my crazy notes. And I'm going to be making a second Gemini shawl just to flesh out the pattern. And then we'll go through the process of getting it written up properly, and then test crocheted and tech edited and all that good stuff so that I can get this pattern out for you. I think it would be cool, I don't even know if this is possible, but in the end of December, I'm not sure of the exact dates, but it's toward the end of the month, there is the Geminid meteor shower. And wouldn't it be super cool if I could have this pattern ready to be released at the same time as the meteor shower? Is that super nerdy of me? Probably, but I'm totally okay with that. So that's gonna be my goal. I'm not gonna set myself a hard deadline because then I feel like I'll stress myself out about it. But yes, I also feel like the typing up of the pattern is like a lot of work. It's really not. It's really just me trying to figure out what past me was writing in the notes when she was creating this thing. Because sometimes, y'all, my brain and the way that I write down things just looks like chicken scratch. And there's instructions everywhere. There's like arrows and stars and skip back 2 pages and then go 3 pages forward. Like, So I'm going to be looking for yarn to do this second Gemini shawl. I'm thinking about doing it in a worsted weight acrylic so that I can get all the stitch counts correct and everything. But I think I want the actual shawl to be a fingering weight shawl with a worsted weight like option, maybe. We'll see. The wheels are turning, as you can see. So that's the only thing that I made note of for maker plans. The next section that we have is Sashquisitions, and I got some happy mail. Yay! Dun, dun, dun. This is happy mail from Hannah. This is the third time I've mentioned her on this podcast. If you can't tell, I really like Hannah. She's awesome. One of these days I am going to make my way over to the St. Pete side of Florida so that we can hang out. I said it. It's out there in the world. That means it has to come true. But yeah, so she sent me a surprise Happy Meal package that I squealed like a little piggy when I got this package and saw what was in it. It warmed my heart so much. Okay, so she sent me this bag and she called it one of her dodgy bags. I don't think this bag is dodgy at all, Hannah. But it's purple glitter on the inside and this really cool pattern on the outside. And I feel like I recently said that I don't have a whole lot of purple like in my life in general, but whenever I see purple things, I like them just on the basis that my birthstone is the amethyst. So whenever I like get purple, like a purple bag or find purple yarn or something like that, I'm always like, oh, this is my birthday thing. So when my birthday comes around in February, I'm going to put my birthday socks, which are going to be purple, in this purple bag. Yay! Look at me making plans for how many months is it until February? 4? 3? 4? Can't count. But she sent, of course, some Crafter's Currency tea. But this is the part that made me squeal. Do you see what that is? It's a pressed penny. Do you want to know why that's extra special? She pressed this penny when she was in Ireland. I have an Irish pressed penny. I am so excited about this thing. If you didn't know, I collect pressed pennies, and like, I don't know what it is about pressed pennies and pressing them in the machines and cranking it and stuff like that. It brings me so much joy, and it's such a simple thing. But this, I have so many words and so many feels. So when I looked at it, well, when I opened the card, the T was like this. So it opened like this. So I didn't see the penny. And so then I'm reading down and I'm like, I pressed this penny. So I look and there it was, and I was so excited and I squealed. And then I went to read, you know, about the area where she pressed the penny. And the penny has a dolphin on it because in that area, it's the cliffs of Moher, M-O-H-E-R. I don't know how that's supposed to be pronounced, but there's an entire family of dolphins that lives there, and they never go far out into the ocean because that inlet is their home. And I thought that was so sweet. So they had a pressed penny machine with a dolphin on it, and another thing that is completely unrelated to pennies or like my collections and stuff like that is I got really happy that there was a dolphin on it, because my Patronus is a dolphin. So this is the perfect pressed penny for me. So happy, all the feels. Ooh, now I can take it. Now I can take the penny out of this card and put it with my collection. Thank you, Hannah. So excited. So excited. Okay, my cheeks hurt from smiling. Gotta stretch them out. Okay. So the next things that I have in stash positions are all thrifted. So I think it was last week I'd gone to the thrift store. So okay, let me preface this by saying whenever I get stressed out or I'm feeling anxious or I get like too like overly peopled, like if I've been interacting with people too much and I just feel drained, I like to go walk around in stores. And not just any store. I specifically like walking around in the thrift store. So when I get off work, typically the only thrift store that's still open is Goodwill. And I will put my headphones in, either turn on a podcast or some music on Pandora, and I'll just walk around in the thrift store. And this particular time, I hit the Motherload. Now, I'm always looking for yarn in the thrift store because a lot of times you'll find, well, not a lot of times, but occasionally I'll find like a bag of goodies and there'll be like a couple like good things in there or yarn that I haven't tried or different things like that. Like once I came across this little bag of yarn, which I still haven't used because I'm like treasuring it, but it's a cashmere yarn, cashmere and something else, but it's mostly cashmere, I think, with a little bit of wool and maybe a little bit of silk or nylon, can't remember, but it's lace weight, and I got 3 balls of it, and I got it for like $3 at the Goodwill. So whenever I go into a Goodwill or a thrift store in general, I'm always looking for yarn. I'm always looking for like big comfy sweaters. I'm always looking for picture frames. I have a legitimate weakness for those old school brass picture frames. I love them. And I always look at mugs. So I hit the Motherload of yarn this past week, and I'm gonna put in a picture because I've separated the yarn into two lots. One that I'm definitely keeping for myself and one that I'm sharing with my friend Sherry. So let me show you the yarns that I'm keeping. There's a full ball of this Karen Simply Soft in neon orange. Wow, that's like day glow. Look at that. That's amazing. Neon orange. There's another ball of Karen Simply Soft in here. Whoever donated this was like an epic starter of projects. Like there were at least 5 or 6 different like just started projects in here that were still connected to the yarn that I'm gonna have to frog out. But like this hat, I could keep it, but I'm not going to. This is another Karen Simply Soft in Kelly Green. I kept this. This is a crochet thread because I want to use it like in weaving, because I still have like some looms and stuff that I got when I was like oh, I'm gonna start weaving, and then I put them away. So I kept this as like an inspiration to get back into the weaving. Then there was neon pink. It's not even really enough to do anything with, but I cannot not keep a good neon pink. Then, and like a lot of these are like, you know, little balls of yarn. Wait, where's the light coming from? There it is. So it's like a pastel baby green. And these right here are what caught my eye in this bag. Are these all? Yeah. So these are 3 skeins of Lucilla Wonder Sheen crochet and knitting cotton, super mercerized, 100% cotton. It's like a lace weight, and there are 400 yards in here. Yeah. And it is the color lavender. This is a really pale purple. So I have 3 skeins of this, and I feel like I can do like maybe some sort of, I don't know, either a lacy shawl would be really cool, or some sort of top, because Florida, and it's cotton and it's lace, and this will be perfect for Florida. So this is what caught my eye in the bag, which was why I bought it. Then there's also this, 2 skeins of this. This is Luster Sheen Red Heart. Like, this is like old Red Heart. Look at that logo there. But this is Luster Sheen 100% Creslan acrylic fiber, whatever. The colorway is Misty. Let's see if there's more info on here. There's 56 grams. Do you tell me how many yards are in here, or how many meters? No. Nope. I guess they didn't really feel like putting that info on these labels. So yeah. There's the colorway. Are these the same? Yeah. They're the same. Are they the same dye lot? Because they look different. Oh, they are the same dye lot. This kind of reminds me of ice cream. Right? Like soft serve ice cream. Don't know what I'm going to do with that, but it's like, this is like an acrylic fingering weight. Maybe lace weight? Who knows? No, definitely fingering weight. I'm looking at it next to the other cotton. Then I have these 2 sparkly numbers. So this one is just crazy sparkly. That kind of looks like night sky almost. This would be really cool if I stranded it with like a navy blue, like held it together with a navy blue. Maybe I could get like a starry constellation-y kind of look from it. Who knows? And then this one, it's the base is that teal, but there's like chunks of the glitter and stuff in it. Okay, not chunks. It's plied in there. So that's pretty cool. And then occasionally you have like bigger pieces like that in there. So yeah, and this is another thing that this person started. I think it's funny when you look at people's work and you see like different little things that they've done. Like this person obviously started out with more stitches here and didn't crochet into her turning, or into their turning chains, which caused that decrease. But then they got it straight up here. But yeah, so I'm gonna be frogging that and reclaiming this yarn. We're almost to the bottom, guys. The last yarny things, or I guess this is technically thread. This is some sort of thread. But I think if I hold this together, like maybe 2 strands together or something like that, I could make like a really cool market bag type thing. But that's kind of what I have in mind for these. So there's a blue and a purple. And I think maybe I'll hold hold them together like that, a blue held with a purple, just so that you know, you get that cool marled effect, I think. But none of these yarns that I've gotten from the thrift store have actual plans. I was just super excited to find them. And the last thing that I kept from the bag is not a yarn, like not a ball of yarn. It is a hat. And look at that pattern. Look at that pattern. That is so cool. When I picked up the bag, I didn't see the hat initially, but when I was looking through it, I was like, okay, if the yarn itself didn't convince me to buy this bag, this hat was definitely like, you need to take me home. I really want to figure out how to do this pattern. I was looking at it. It's a lot of front post double crochets, I think, or they might be trebles. I don't know. But also, look at this ribbing. Like, that ribbing looks like knitting, but that is definitely crocheted. So this is the best crocheted ribbing that I've ever seen. Look at that. Amazing. So yeah, I kind of wish this hat was my size. It's definitely not. But I am going to be reverse engineering this pattern. Yay. So that is everything that I got yarny from the Goodwill. And this bag, all of this came in the same bag, plus the other yarns that I'm taking to my friend Sherry to see what she wants out of there. In that side, there was some cotton, like dishcloth cotton, some big balls of, like big full balls of either Red Heart or Karen, or there was definitely one that was that the Basics yarn from Walmart, and they're full skeins. There was a ball, I think, of mandala in there, and just some other things like that. So I'm going to be taking that by her to see what she wants out of there, and then whatever she doesn't want, I'll be keeping. So yeah, that's pretty fun. And then, so that's everything yarny. The next things that I picked up at the thrift store that like really made me happy, before I show you this epic book stack, are these two mugs. So I got this one, which that pattern, right? Look at how delicate that is. When I picked it up, I was like, oh my gosh, this is beautiful. I love it. And then I turned it over, and it's from IKEA. And that makes sense because I feel like the patterns that IKEA uses are really pretty. And then I found this one. When I looked at it, I was like, okay, obviously this is gonna be some sort of like funny thing, aside from the fact that down here it says funny guy mugs. So I was like, what is this? So then I Googled funny guy mugs, brown mug chemistry, I think. And this is caffeine. And I thought that was really clever. So of course I had to get it. Both of these mugs were 99 cents. Yay. And now for the moment I have been waiting for, to show you this epic book stack. Okay. Oh, hold on. Let me do this. All right. Dun, 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 dun. So, as I have mentioned, I am reading the Harry Potter series, and I read the first 3 books. Okay, this is heavy. I read the first 3 books on my iPad because my friend had them digitally, so she sent them to me. And then like the whole time I've been going into the thrift store looking to see if they had the books and everything, and I was always unsuccessful. And then it was like suddenly the skies opened and Harry Potter books started to appear everywhere. So let's put these to the side. I have 4 of the 7. I've got book 2, book 4, 5, and 7. So I just need to fill in my missing ones, and then I'll have the whole set. And I just have to say, these books are obnoxiously large. Okay? Like, when I get to book 5, I'm not going to be able to carry anything else in my bag. It's just going to have to be the book and like a sock, because that's all I'm going to be able to carry. Or my back is going to break and I'm going to be paralyzed because of how big these books are. That's all I have to say. But I'm currently in book 4, and I would also like to comment that it's very hard to hold a book open with like your leg when you're knitting and reading at the same time. When it's this big, a little bit difficult, but I'm doing it and I'm really enjoying the books. I finally gotten to the point where like this is all new now. Like the book 3 was the last book that I read as a child, so this is all new, absolutely new. Like I don't even know almost what's happening. I have seen the movies, but as I am discovering, they are vastly different than the books. A lot. And I'm only this far into the book, and I'm like, who are these people? So yeah. Hi, Kiva. Oh, do you want to come up here? Okay. Hold on, let me put these books down. All right, come on. Oh, there you go. Kiva, you wanted to come say hi? No? You're not gonna say hi to the people? Turn your face. Turn your face. Oh, pitiful Kiva face. All right, so I got those Harry Potter books, so I'm still on the hunt for books 1, 3, and 6. Yes, 1, 3, and 6, and then maybe the Cursed Child, maybe. Yeah. So it's making me very happy, the idea of having a complete set. The only thing that's a little bit irritating is that they are not all paperback, because I have learned that once I see the book in the Goodwill or in the thrift store, I need to just go ahead and buy it. Especially since like the bookstore ones, not the bookstore, the thrift store books are, I think, 99 cents for the paperback and $1.99 for hardback. So just get the book, Alicia. And then these are my other books that I got. This one is Lewis Carroll's Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass, because I've never read it, so I decided to get that. This one is Ned Vizzini, It's Kind of a Funny Story. And I've read this book. I read this book maybe 4 years ago. 3 or 4 years ago I read this book. And it really gave me Perks of Being a Wallflower vibes. Like, I love Perks. Like, I went to see the movie and I loved the movie and I cried unashamedly. I was crying, real tears. Like, my friend that I went with, he was like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine. I just love this story so much." And it's just like, that was me in the theater, and I was like completely okay with it. Kiva, I'm fine. I'm telling a story. I'm okay. Why are you being weird? So when I read this book, it gave me like the same kind of vibes. It is a bit triggery. So I'm just going to read you like the back of it. It says, ambitious New York City teenager Craig Gilner is determined to succeed at life, which means getting into the right high school, to get into the right college, to get the right job. But once Craig aces his way into Manhattan's executive pre-professional high school, the pressure becomes unbearable. He stops eating and sleeping until one night he nearly kills himself. Craig's suicidal episode gets him checked into the mental hospital, where his new neighbors include a transsexual sex addict, a girl who has scarred her own face with scissors, and the self-elected President Armilio. There, Craig is finally able to confront the sources of his anxiety. Ned Vizzini, who himself spent time in a psychiatric hospital, has created a remarkably moving tale about the sometimes unexpected road to happiness. I loved this book, y'all. I cried. I'm a crier, but definitely would recommend. Like I said, it can be a little triggery, so read at your own risk. But when I saw this in the thrift store, I had to take it home with me. Also, this author, I think this was the first book that I read by him, and then I went and read like all of his other works. But he's an amazing writer, so I definitely recommend Ned Vizzini if you are looking for something new to read. And then the last book to read that I got is The Artisan Soul by Erwin Raphael McManus, Crafting Your Life into a Work of Art. So when I saw that, I was like, well, obviously I have to get this. I want to see what it's about. And it turns out that this is kind of like, not like a self-help book, but kind of a self-helping kind of book, but also brings in scripture, which I really appreciate. So I'm excited to read that, see what it's all about. Yeah. And lastly, this is not a book, by Carrie Smith. She is the creator of the Wreck This Journal. I bought a copy of Wreck This Journal back when I lived in Alabama, and it was such an awesome experience to do. Like, basically, Wreck This Journal is a book that you wreck. Each page gives you a prompt on something to do that will wreck the journal. Like, one of my favorite ones was Crack the Spine, and I think it was one of my favorite ones because as somebody who enjoys reading and loves books and things, you never want to crack the spine. Like, you want to be careful with your books. So having a book tell you, go ahead, break me, it was just like, if you say so. It has you rip out pages, it has you tie it to a string and swing it around and let it go, and there's a page that says like, fill this page with stains, you know, like different things like that. That is just a really outside of the box way of being creative. I really liked. So this book, when I saw it first, I checked to see if it was new, which it is. Nobody has done any of these prompts, and it is not a book. Note to the reader/user: you are about to embark on a journey. You have come to this page because the object you now hold in your hands has piqued your curiosity. You may not know exactly what it is, but that is precisely the point. In order to complete it, you will be asked to do a number of things. Am I reading too loud? Many of these things require the use of your imagination. You are welcome to alter the journey in any way you choose. You may complete the tasks in any time frame. Try things at different speeds to see how they change, using whatever materials you have on hand. If anything happens during the course of This Is Not a Book that you do not like, you may go back and alter it or remove it completely. You may add things you think it might need. This is your work. there are some things that you need to remember. 1, trust in your imagination. It is the source of all true journeys. 2, things are not always what they seem. 3, anything can happen. I feel like those 3 things are like important rules for life, right? So that is the introduction. And the first page says, this is an inconvenience. This is not a book everywhere you go for 1 week. You must place it in full view at all times. You don't want me to do that? No? Do you want to play with This Is Not a Book? Am I disturbing you? Well, you came up on my lap. I don't know what to tell you, homie. Kiva, you look so ridiculous in the camera. Are you posing? Weirdo. So yeah, those are all of the books and the things. Oh, there is one other thing that I got from the thrift store that I'm kind of excited about. It's this. This is a giant embroidery hoop. I got it for 99 cents. And when I saw it, I immediately thought mandala. Like, I want to crochet a mandala to go in this and hang it on my wall. Don't know when that's going to happen, but I do want it to happen. And I'm happy that now I have this hoop. So, yeah, that's it. Yay! That's everything that I have for stash positions. That's everything that I have for Yarny things to show you, Yarny crafty things to show you. Yeah, the last thing that I just want to recommend, I know I just went over a whole bunch of books that I'm excited to read, that I have read, that are new to my collection, but recently, this past week, I read 2 like illustrated books about being an introvert in an extroverted world. This week has been very much like my introverted nature has been at the forefront of my mind a whole lot this week. And it's probably because I read these books, so it's just something that I'm thinking about. But the first one that I read was Quiet Girl in a Noisy World, An Introvert's Story by Debbie Tung. And that's what it looks like. Can you see that? Try not to catch a glare. But it was like, this is the one that started me down the rabbit hole of introvert books. And it was absolutely delightful. Like, the story, it's kind of written as a, not kind of, it is written as like a graphic novel. And the story follows the author through her last year of college, graduating, getting a real job, falling in love, getting married, all of these things, right? All of these like life moments. And there were so many points where I was just like, yep, that's me. I do that exact same thing. Like, one in particular was somebody was calling her on her phone, and the phone started ringing, and she was just looking at it, and it's still ringing, and she's like slowly moving out of the frame. And I was like, that's totally me. Like, text me. I would appreciate that. But there was something really amazing about being able to read a book and identify with so many of the different things or the different experiences that the author is describing, in that way that it makes you feel like I'm not alone in my weirdness, you know? So that was really awesome. The other book that I read was Text Don't Call, I think. I will put the title of that book and the author on the screen, as well as links to both of them in the down bar. But this was another one that was about, you know, the introverted life, and it was, the majority of it were little like comic strips or cartoons, things like that, that just like highlight different things that are like typical when you're an introvert. There was one that made me laugh so hard because it is so true. On one side it said how I look after the holidays, and it was just like a regular person. The other side was how I feel after the holidays, and it was like crazy phase, like ah. And I was like, that's me. That is so true. And whenever I say like the holidays, I'm specifically thinking about holiday season in the studio. I look like I'm okay, but on the inside I'm wanting to flip over tables, scream, run home, get under the bed, and not come out until February. But one thing that really stuck with me after reading both of those books was how, as an introvert, you really do need that time to recharge and to like re-energize yourself. And even though a lot of times things in life will keep pulling you, like you have to go to these different places, you have to interact with these different people, you have to do this, you have to do that, you still, like, it's still very important for you to make time for yourself. And like I said at the beginning of this video, this week has been one of those that I was just going and going and going. I'm one of the photographers in the studio that will travel between studios. So whenever they're like understaffed at like one of the locations in Orlando, I'll get called to go and cover that studio or something like that. So I worked Sunday through Thursday, and you know, like working 5 days straight isn't a weird thing to do, you know, in life. Like everybody works a 5-day week typically with, you know, your 2 days off, your weekend off. But for me, because of the type of job that it is, I have to be like fake extrovert Kalisha all the time. And you have to, like, I end up putting out so much energy because my entire job is getting people to smile, which is a lot. It doesn't matter if they're children or adults. Getting somebody to smile and not to be like that fake like smile, it takes work and it takes energy, and you have to put out that energy in order for that person to give it back to you in the form of that smile. Like for instance, yesterday I had I think he's a 1.5-year-old, and he was just not having pictures. He was screaming and he was running around, and I ended up literally running back and forth like this, like running up to him, tickling him, running away to take the picture, and then trying to make sure that his older siblings are looking at the camera, and that mom and dad are looking at the camera and not at the children, which is something parents do a lot. Like, you guys are here for a picture. Look at the camera. Don't look at your kids. You see them all the time. Look at the camera. But you know, so it's a lot of physical energy, it's a lot of mental energy, and I just need to recharge. And it's kind of funny to me, as much as I like sitting and being quiet, I enjoy coming on here and filming these videos and talking to you guys, because I kind of feel like I'm talking to like one friend. Are you getting down? Be careful. Good job. I feel like, you know, I'm just talking to a friend and just chit-chatting, and it's nothing big or taxing, and I really appreciate that. So this weekend, I can't even say this whole weekend because I'm working on Sunday, but the rest of today and tomorrow, I'm gonna do my best to not be around anybody. We'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. But that is everything I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for being here with me. Thank you for like commenting on my other videos and sharing different things that happen to you guys. So as usual, I would love it if you guys would take a moment, go down in the comment section, leave a comment of something good that happened to you this past week, so that we can all share in that positivity. If you have any books, yes, if you have any books or recommendations of books that I should read or that anybody should read, or like your favorite book or anything like that, leave that down below as well, because this whole learning that I can knit and crochet and read has just opened up my desire to read more, and I love it. I love it. So yes, thank you so much for being part of my universe. Have a great weekend. Bye.